All right, welcome everyone. So, today we are going to be talking about the aspect host detachment, and we're going to try to build a list. I mean, this is kind of like all the most important stuff that goes with this list. Oh, sorry. Yeah, so this is kind of the most important things that go with the list. So I decided to put them separate so we can kind of like brainstorm like every aspect warriors units that we have. And then I brought a couple of things. I brought a couple of things for us to kill. I brought some Terminators for Grey Knights Terminators with Boldus, which is something kind of hard to get rid of because of the 4-up invul, minus 1 to hit, and all of that. I brought Magnus Kalgar with the Company Veterans, which is another unit that we see regularly in the Space Marines, right? And then over here, I brought another, a little more of like annoying stuff that we face during our matches. Maybe like a Reboot Gilliman or Assault Intercessors. I mean, this is something that I do want to test out with the Dire Avengers. And then we have just some anti-tank. I brought this one because it does have a 2-up. Yes, it does have a 2-up save. So I want to see if we can have enough AP to get through this, right? And then the Doomsday Arc, I mean, Necrons is another annoying faction that we have to face. I brought the Silent King with the Spider, right? So the Feel No Pains will be added in this fights as well. Um, but yeah, other than that, this is what we're gonna try to kill. But do want to discuss on this list building. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that we can bring, right? I mean, I have everything here that we're going to be reviewing. We have the codex, we have our detachment rule, and then all the updated points that we have so far. I'm going to try to make these bigger. So you guys can see this is like the most updated points list that I've found online, right? That has been shared throughout the web. So we're going to start by discussing what units could actually perform good, right? For example, we have a unit Jane Czar with Howling Banshees. So the good thing about our aspect host, as we all have read so far, is that during our shooting and our fighting, we get to pick either we're rerolling ones or rerolling twos, right? So these girls, they actually hit on twos, which is crazy. It's crazy consistent, right? Because you're hitting on twos, you're rerolling ones. It's pretty much tell me how many hits I need to defend. Just roll the wounds, right? Skip the hits because they're all hitting. Unless you're like me, that you roll ones into ones, then, well, hey, welcome to the club. But other than that, I think a Jane Czar and a group of Banshees is a really good thing that we need to bring. Now, how many, right? Do we bring a stack of 10? Do we bring a stack of 5? For that, I brought, this is a basic terrain 1 that we usually play, well, that I usually play. It always, even though we randomize it, we always end up in a terrain layout 1, the GW terrain. And over here, we can see, I like to use this to measure like distance, what to do with these units. Jane Czar provides a threat, which is perfect for this terrain, right? Let me tell you why. Because uh, at the beginning of the turn, we get the tokens, right? That we all know, which is our army rule. And we use these tokens to either give, I think it's like a 2+ movement, a you cannot fire Overwatch, and some other stuff, right? That we get to see through our codex. But the most important here is the 2+ movement and the no fire Overwatch, right? Depending how far these people are, if there's somebody here, they still won't be able to fire Overwatch if you want to counter or if you want to make a threat here. If you put Jane Czar in a group of Banshees here or here, either way, I mean, there's a lot of places that this unit will benefit from when if you play her as kind of like a bait. So you played her something like that, right? That's why I'm thinking a movement, a unit of 5 might be a little bit better. But we do have to see with the +2 movement and the auto 6 advance of James R, we have an 18-inch movement, right? Again, if you want to have fun with this aspects, if you love your aspects, then you want to take them all with a stack of 5. That's fine. That's cool. And I'll probably do that eventually. But we are trying to build a competitive list, right? We're trying to build something that is gonna perform well in the meta, depending on the terrains as well that we get. If you play GW or you play the other one, but I usually play the GW terrain. But yeah, so back to James R. We have an 18-inch movement of threat. 16, sorry, we have a 16-inch movement of threat with the +2 movement, right? So if we are able to set up James R and the squad here, I mean, we have this objective. That's 16 right there. That's the end of the objective. We can make a threat to anything that comes here. We can make a threat that anything that comes here and anything that hides behind here as well. If we want to just move forward here, or we want to go here and then here, it's up to you. And then 16 inches over here. If you want to avoid, if there's something here that they're hiding, right? And like usually, sometimes they do like intercessors. Again, I brought some things for us to kill. Sometimes they do like a squad of intercessors here to do the same thing as you, to kind of like counter and strike back as soon as they go in. But with this range, I mean, I'm not really scared of that fire Overwatch, so I'm gonna be able to push 16 here, right? And then we have what, like a 3-inch, 4-inch charge. I think James R is going to be one of the main things that we want to take in this list, right? Um, Again, depending on how many points we have, it's up to you if we want to take 5, if we want to take 10. But this unit right here should be able to easily kill a unit of assault intercessors, and we're going to try and test that out. We do have fights first, so we know that we're fighting, right? We're going to be the first ones to engage here. Um, these girls, let's say they move, they're 16, right? Autos with the 2-inch movement and then the auto 6 advance, and now we can still charge, and that's going to give me a 2-inch charge, which, I mean, why roll it, right? We're going in there. So now if we look back over here, we have again all the points. We got our stratagems that we can look back at, so I don't have to go scroll up and down. But for all the units, we're going to be using this. Jane's Heart, again, they did lose some attacks, but they gain anti-infantry, which is amazing. So let's say usually we take what, Banshee Blades. We have 4 Banshee Blades, and I think now we're going to be taking the Executioner because the Executioner does 3 damage, and it's a lot, and it's really good. So let's say we attack with the Banshee Blade. It's 2 attacks each. That's going to be a total of 4, 8. Go back. 5, 6, 7, 8. We're hitting on 2s, right? Which is why I love this new Eldar detachment for the Aspect Host, because we get to reroll our 1s. Right, so here we're hitting on 2s. I like to reroll hits. I like to reroll hits, especially we're already doing anti-infantry 3, so I want to make sure I have the most amount of hits, the most amount of dices. I don't want to like fail 1 dice and just, roll a 2, right? I'd rather guarantee that our hits are going through. So I'm gonna reroll the 1s to hit. Right, so reroll here. Okay, we're good. Again, we could also use stratagem for lethal. We can use stratagem for sustain. We can make anything to an auto 6 with the shrine that we take out. But for right now, for this purpose, we're gonna just try to kill them with their stats that they have currently. So toughness 4, all of them went through, and anti-infantry 3. So we need a 3. Okay, so 4 of them went through, and these ones, and this is just the regular branches, okay? And it's 2 damage each, so anything that he misses, they're dying. It's AP2 as well, which is which is really good. AP2, their normal save 3, saving on 4, it's 5, sorry. So they're saving on 5s. and they roll really good. Sometimes sometimes they roll really good. Sometimes they don't, right? So let's say for this case, one of them died. All right, let's do that. So one of them died. We still have our Executioner, and we still have our Phoenix Lord, which is still really good, right? So let's see, Executioner, again, 3 attacks, hitting on 2s, rerolling once, which is what I like. 3 attacks, 2s, rerolling once. Alright, all of them went through, right? Now we look at we're pretty much going to be doing 3s either way, yeah, probably 3s either way. So 3s, all of them went through. And then for this one, we're doing AP3. AP3, okay. AP3. So now you're saving on 6s. And you don't save, you die. Pretty much. That's 3 dead. So that kills 3 guys. And then Jane Sar is she's gonna finish. She's gonna finish it up, right? I didn't pile in just for the purpose of this video. I'm just trying to get some damage and some dice rolling so we can see which one we will benefit from the most. But yeah, I mean, as you guys see, easily, a unit of assault intercessors will die, no problem, right? And if we're staging here, we have such a big threat. 16, right? We have such a big threat of taking care of our problems here, taking care of here. If something's doing an action, we get to deny easily, right? Because if there's sometimes people do actions hiding here, or they do an action hiding here, easily deniable, right? Which is really good for when you're playing. I mean, this game is based on points, right? So really good at that. If you're here, let's say you're staging here, same thing. You got this whole objective, the back, and maybe if you're lucky, a good charge there. Maybe we'll see. Uh, if you're in this wall, if you made it here somehow, and you're just staging now, you have a chance on their backfield, right? So I think a Jane's Heart is going to be really good. So yes, we're taking a Jane's Heart. Depending on the points, we'll see. I want to say a 5 is enough. We could take a 10 if we feel like, depending on your meta, of course. If you have a meta back home, if it's a lot of melee or a lot of infantry, then you could probably take either 2 5s or a 10, right? I think the reason why Banshees are good is because of James Hart, because of the auto 6. So you could try another squad of 5 with an Autark. I think you can take an Autark on them, right? Um, but yeah, Autark. Yeah, they go with everybody now. So you could take an Autark if you wanted to give them what is it, the reduce the CP by 1. So a free stratagem. You want to give them a free stratagem. If you feel like they're not too far, you can regularly just do the regular advance and perform a threat with a free CP. Go for it, right? That's also a good thing that we can do. Now, the big question here that I feel like everybody has been asking, I've been hearing about it a lot, right? What are we doing with this man right here? What are we doing with this man? What do you guys think we should be doing with this man? I feel like a lot of people have been saying put him in a 10-man squad in a Wave Serpent. And then there's people saying put him in a Falcon with a 5. I want to know what you guys like. The reason why we're here is so we can all talk about it and we can all just give our ideas and see what we're doing, right? I think I tested them out earlier. I tested them, both of them out. I tried this and I tried that with 10. I personally like the 5-man. Why? Because of the rerolls to wound. Being able to guaranteed that you're critting on 3s, right? With depth wounds against, we're looking at infantry. Let me see. Anti-infantry, yeah. So to be able to take out infantry and guarantee that reroll is amazing. Because now you have, I understand that we still get rerolls with 1s, right? And we get rerolls on 1s to hit, 1s to wound. I like hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s, and then full rerolls on my wounds. That's so. I mean, rerolling in this game it's needed, right? You need the rerolls. So I personally like. I tried. I know the dices will be different, right? Every time we roll. I get it. I understand. I tried two things. I tried killing the squad with this, and I tried killing the squad with a stack of 10 and a wave serpent. Now, keep in mind, I shot at them without doing the falcon damage. It was just them shooting. On a squad of 5 with the rerolls to hit and the rerolls to wound, I was able to take out the whole unit because of the death wounds. The death wounds were, and then I forgot. I forgot about the +1 damage. So I was doing like less damage, and I was still able to take them out. So I tried the 10-man squad as well, and because of their involvements and stuff like that, I was able to take out all except I think it was you and you. They were still at full wounds. So I had to engage and I had to attack, and my roll was bad in the attack, but it could be good. You could wipe them out. But it turns out like you're spending more points on killing something. Like I think it's what, like 300 and something points. Astroman 135. Dire Avengers 150 for a 10-man squad, right? And then plus the Wave Serpent 115. So you're spending a lot of points, right? For the same result. I feel like it was the same result, right? They still would have died, but now I didn't spend 400 or 300 plus points, and I spent a little less, right? So now you have more room to add to your army, like more points to add. Some of the other things. So I would personally take that, and I would take. Ooh, come here, and I would take that. I would take a Falcon. Oop, I don't know why I did that. So copy and paste that, and hopefully we can take something else. So definitely for me so far, these two units are a staple. We have to take them, right? Now let's talk a little bit about the rest of the squad. Some of the things that I also brought, as you can see, we have some Storm Guardians. You might be asking yourself, what are these guys doing here? The reason why I brought them is because every other Aspect Warrior hits on 3s that I've seen so far, right? Either Scorpions or Dragons. Dragons I'm not too concerned about because these guys have full rerolls on monsters and vehicles. So these guys are amazing. I am not concerned about these guys. Of course, these guys are an auto include. Now we do have to check, right? Are they worth it? Is it worth to put them in the Falcon now? Mm, I mean, you already have the rerolls, right? If you put them in a Falcon, the only reason why you're putting them in a Falcon is to give this guy some rerolls. That's it. Because unless you're trying to hit like an infantry squad with your fire dragons, or you're trying to hit something that's not, the monster or a vehicle, where then you will not get your rerolls. But going back to hitting on 3s, everybody else hits on 3s. Now, why the Storm Guardians or why the Guardian Defenders? Because of this guy, Farseer. I was actually thinking throwing in a Farseer into the build to provide guide to give if you're trying to kill something, right? You want to have consistency. So what can we do with the Farseer? We can give guide to something. Now the rest of your army, if I read it right, the rest of your army should get +1 to hit. Again, these pictures that we got, some of them are very blurry. Where is this guy? Some of them are very blurry, and I can barely see what it says. So as far as I was reading it, it read like it said +1 to hit for the army, targeting that same unit, right? So branching fates. This once per phase. No, that's a different one. Guide. At the end of your movement phase, select unit between 18. I see 18. Right? Friendly air models or target this unit +1. Add 1 to the hit roll. So that just adds a lot more consistency to your whole army. If there's something that you want to kill, you want to make sure you get as many hits as possible, right? Rerolling ones, hitting on twos, rerolling ones, it's always, for me, amazing. So, I want to find a place for this guy. What the only things he attaches to is Guardian Defenders or Storm Guardians. Is it worth it? For me, yes. Why? Because I can stage this guy somewhere here, for example, right? I can stage this guy here. I can move him, what is it, 7 still, if I need to, anywhere. And now I present a threat here. I have 18 inches. If I see you, I give my whole unit guide, and now I'm assisting everything else that I have, right? Um, so very excited for that. I really like that combo. It's something that I think will benefit the army, and I think we're going to see it. I think we're going to see people running at least one Farseer. Now, the reason why I'm running it with the Guardian Defenders is because of indirect fire, right? If you're preparing for a game and you're playing a friend and you know that they don't have indirect, then you can just take this guy by himself. Excuse me. So then you can take this guy by himself. But if you're playing a tournament, you don't know what you're playing against, right? You can face guard. You can face what's it? Death, Death Watch. No, Death Watch. I think that's what it's called. You. I don't think they have indirect. They might. I don't know. I'm not really familiar with Death Watch, but there's threats, right? There's potential threats with indirect fire. So what would I do? That's when I would consider running a squad of guardians with this guy, just to protect him, right? Or you can just not care. If you don't care if he dies, I mean, again, he's not what he used to be. He doesn't really need to be protected. It's just a little asset. It's like 75, what is it, 75 points? And it's just a good asset for your team. It assists the rest of your squads, right? Some things that I think would also help. I mean, you are kind of like we do have units that buff the rest of your army, like Shroud Runners. Uh, I mean, Vipers don't really buff. These are more defensive. So I would not consider. I know there's people that like the Vipers. I would not consider running a Viper um, if you're not playing that defensively, right? Because we're not gonna have things out there for you to say, oh, I want to make sure I get -1 hit on that unit. And then Shroud Runners, they got better, right? So you could possibly have your Shroud Runners shoot at something and then remove the benefit of cover from it. But we also have a stratagem to do that, right? We have a stratagem that we can choose ignores cover, we can choose lethal hits, we can choose what is it, sustain hits. So, and if we remove token, we can choose from both, right? All right, give me 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. All right, we're back, guys. Sorry about that. Yeah, so we were talking about these units, right? So we have these units that provide buffs, right? So the ignore covers and then -1 to hit to your enemies. Uh, so far, if you guys are just joining in, these are some of the things that we've been looking at. We'll discuss them again in a bit. But then I don't really feel like we will benefit from the Viper at all. And then the Shroud Runners, I mean, we don't get the rerolls, but that's not why they're here, right? They're here to for us to have like ignore cover or something. So yeah, I would consider maybe running one of these guys, if we have the points, right? If we have a lot of stuff and we just don't have the points, I wouldn't even worry about running these guys. Um, but yeah, let's look at this squad right here that I'm looking at it. Scorpions. I think Scorpions auto include definitely 2 squads of 5. For me, auto include. I always take Scorpions. You could also take, I mean, Rangers if you want. Again, they are not aspect warriors, so they wouldn't benefit from the detachment, the rerolls. But they're not here to do that. So same thing as the Shrouds. They're not here to hit reroll ones and do damage. They're just here to block and be annoying, right? So you could take a squad of Rangers. Now, I do want to say, because this list is very heavy on the Phoenix Lords, we don't have that much room, right? Now, because we don't have that much room, we have to carefully assess how much room we have and what it's going to be worth, and we're going to make sure that we are covering every area, right? We're covering infiltrator blocking because now they have scouts, right? So you could potentially get these guys scout and block somebody, right? Let's say within 9. Potentially block somebody, right? And then you have like a 7, 8, a scout 7, which is crazy. And you can hide them back in here once you're done blocking. And that's it, right? So now you covered the screening and you covered everything else. So that is something that I would consider taking, especially 2 squads of these.
She took Alina?
Yeah. But yeah, let's see. This guy. I don't think we're taking this guy at all. I don't. Why? Yes, a CP is really good, but all of our stuff is 1 CP, right? It's not like, well, before we had Fire and Fade, it cost 2 and it was very necessary in the army. It was very important, right? If we don't Fire and Fade our tanks, our fire prisms, they die, right? If we don't Fire and Fade our bikes after coming out, killing everything, jumping back into hiding, they die, right? So before it was very necessary. Right now, I'm not sure. Right now, I don't think that in this attachment, I don't think we need that extra CP. Again, and then if we bring this guy, either we bring him alone or we bring him with another 100 points, and that's already 220 points that we just don't have in this list because this list is pretty expensive. Um, but yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what happens with these guys. Again, the Rangers. You could take the Rangers, but let me let me ask. I'm gonna send this link to people. And yeah, I know that we are making the list right now. I mean, points can change, right? We don't have the official one yet. This is just theoretical. Right? We're just trying to make something out of it. Trying to have some fun, and so you guys can start play testing some builds. And if for some reason something changes at the end, then we just adapt. That's usually what we do, right? We build something, they change it, we adapt. In period. Okay, grab this, share it. But yeah, so yeah, if there's something changes, again, we adapt and we move on. We move on, right? Okay, now a big thing that we want to talk about. So far we have two scorpions, Jeansar, Acerman, and a falcon, which is really good, really good for me, right? So Avatar King. Okay, there's a love hate relationship with Avatar of Cain of how good. I mean, there's a lot of discussions. How good is Avatar Cain? Did he get better? Did he get worse? Some people think he got better. Some people, again, say that he got worse. The goal with Avatar. So Avatar played a role before our detachment, right? The Avatar King played a role to where the Avatar King would push the middle. He'll be annoying because he'll have the Farseer saying, he'll have the Farseer right here. Oh, -1 to wound. -1 to wound. Every turn. -1 to wound. And -1 to wound plus half the damage. It's very, very annoying, right? It was very, very annoying to deal. And he was toughness 12, right? So not everything could kill it. Most people were winning on sixes. Most people were winning on fives. People, and also, if somebody had either death wounds or mortal wounds, they would kill it easily. I remember one time I played a game. Through the avatar, they brought a unit with a bunch of like grenades and death wounds and more, and he just died turn one. It was it was incredible. Right now he's cheaper now. He's 300 points, but now he's toughness 11. Do we want to bring something that's toughness 11 that can now potentially be wounded on maybe still fives, probably fours? Um, I don't think they're bringing strength 20 something weapons, right? So maybe might wound you on twos, but doubt it. Um, so do we bring this guy? There's a lot of strength 18 tanks and stuff like that. They're going to be wounding you on threes. You're still halving damage, but you don't no longer have the -1 to wound, which hurts, right? Now he still has damage, which is good. Again, T11, he costs 300 points. But if you think about it, 300 points that you could just say no thanks and add so much. Well, maybe not so much, maybe like a squad or two, right? Two more squads or three more squads to help you. Or, I mean, these guys. Because these guys are something else. They can now charge through walls, pretty much. The way these guys work now is if you had like a building that you normally would have to measure up and measure down, because they have fly, they can charge like that. They can measure up and then measure down for the charge. But now the unit says that you ignore that measurement, so you're technically charging straight through, right? And these guys, I think they are anti-vehicle. I think they have anti-vehicle weapons. So it could be our anti-tank, right? It could be our new anti-tank. And but they are so expensive. They're so expensive. 120 for a squad of three? I mean, we gotta look at that. It's 120 for a squad of three right now, right? Let's see. They have anti-vehicle, 3 attacks each. Well, I think the Shining Spirit gets the start. Okay, yeah. So anti-vehicle, anti-monster, lands, strength 5, AP 2, 3 damage. Okay, I see why. Each time the unit makes a normal, advance, fallback, or charge move. So they're just ignoring walls completely. They don't really care about walls. That's cool. That's pretty cool. Okay, yeah. Then yeah, I see people would why they put it at 120. It's very strong. 3 damage, 3 attacks each, so it's 6 attacks, hitting potentially on threes, potentially on twos if you take the Farseer, right? So you're hitting on twos on the melee. Strength 5 with land, so +1 to wound. Rerolling ones if you want. AP 2, 3 damage each. That could potentially kill something, right? You can potentially kill, I don't know, how many wounds does I think it's 9 wounds for the Sagittar. I mean, it's an example. You could kill a Sagittar. The Vindicator, the only thing is it does not have the death wounds, right? I think death wounds will make it a lot better. But it is what it is. We get what we get. 11 wounds towards the Vindicator that is now saving on fives. Normally saving on twos. Oh wait, I think it's AP2. AP2, yeah. Well, saving on fours. And then the Star Lance hits you with four. Same thing. Four attack, strength 5 with Lance. Minus 3 AP. So now he's getting them on a 5. So I feel like it would be more beneficial instead of running the Avatar King, that's 300 points, to run 2 squads of these guys. I mean, it will be kind of like your anti-tank. They can come from reserves if you want it and swing at something, right? They have a tank, usually tanks here, right? So usually there's tanks here. You can like strategic reserve, or you can come here and then jump there. Plus, with the +2 movement, you still have the +2 movement and the charge. So I think that these guys will be beneficial, and they are aspect warriors, right? So you get the rerolls. Stack of 6, I don't see it. I rather 2 stacks of 3s just to have like mobility around. Stack of 6, I don't see it that much. I mean, these guys for sure. Again, the Falcon serves. The Falcon will give it Fugan a purpose, right? Fugan is really good. I don't feel like he needs the rerolls on the wounds. But if he did, I mean, if you want to take him on a Falcon, that's something. I just don't feel like he needs the rerolls. I feel like these guys have enough rerolls that they don't really have to go in a Falcon. I do want to take 2 Falcons though, because I do want to make sure that something else is rerolling wounds and hits. Maybe a unit of Dark Reapers. I mean, Dark Reapers are really good too, ignoring everything, hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s, rerolling wounds, 3 damage apiece. It's a bomb. They could hurt. I preferably like also bringing a. I know these guys, the way I played them before, right? Before, play them like this. I'll bring these guys here. I'll screen with them. And then turn 3, turn 2, if I need it to score something, right? Or after turn 3, bring them up, uppy downy. I'll potentially do it every turn. I will bring them up, depending on what I drew. If I drew something where that I could use them for, I would drop them somewhere. If I didn't, I would just drop them right back to continue screen, right? Now to do that, now we need Baharoth. Would I bring it? I would still bring it because I think screening is very important. And also, I think Baharoth is a beast. He's a beast. Now, because, let me tell you why. Baharoth, if we look at Baharoth's data sheet, he is insane. So now the successful hit crits. Hitting on 2s, rerolling 1, everything crits. You have lethal hits. You use a CP to give this man sustained hits. So now you have 4 attack going through for lethal, and then 4 sustain. I think it's really good. 2 damage apiece, you could kill something, potentially, right? You can potentially kill a squad of intercessors or a squad of any berserkers, right? The squad of 5 berserkers, 2 wounds each. You potentially just with Baharoth kill at least 4 of them. 4 lethals, 4 sustains, 8 attacks total. AP1, 2 damage apiece. Potentially could hurt. That plus they all have grenades, right? So even if you don't drop them, right, you can just move them somewhere, do grenades, and then just finish them off. So I think I am going to be taking this guy as well. And as you can see, very heavy on the these guys. I completely forgot about the spiders. Okay, get some spiders out here. Actually, we'll see about that. Okay, but yeah, I would definitely take at least 1 unit. I've seen people saying this guy with squad of 10, he doesn't do the same thing that he did before, where he can just shoot and move. Well, not necessarily. I wouldn't. I would pretty much either just use it to screen, or if I'm taking a 10 man, If I am going to be taking a 10 man, I am spreading them out all the way across, just to screen. And then at a certain point, pick them up, drop them somewhere. Uh, it, as you guys know, it's a little bit hard to drop a 10 man squad. A little bit hard. But yes, I would definitely, if I do end up running a 10 man, that will be their purpose. Screening the back. So after turn 3, pick them up, drop them somewhere, finish something off. But yeah, Dark Reapers are also really good. Again, the Farseer might be something that I want to take. A fair amount of like autarchs. I know we have the spider as well that we definitely want to take one squad of spiders because now we're critting on 5s with everyone. So if you can play a build that is focused on targeting something and really like hitting it, right? Because you have this guy, and you have these guys, and you have where is he? This guy. That now you can do. Okay, I'm gonna make sure I kill that. So +1 to hit, critting on 5s, ignoring cover, right? And where's the autarch? And a free CP for the squad that is shooting. Free lethals, free sustains, easy, right? But yeah, there's a lot of potential on this list building. I don't think I would take Mogan Raw. I think I would definitely take a squad of spiders. I would try, if there's room, I would probably take a Farseer with some Guardians, just to have that lens, that bright lens. I would consider taking 2 squads of that. This is like very maybe. It's a big maybe, right? Definitely, we do want to take something else, a vehicle. We want to make sure we have enough anti-tank and a place to put these guys so they don't just die in 2 seconds. Why? Because we are toughness 3 and we die to everything. So maybe a wave serpent to transport the fire dragons and maybe the dark reapers, or transfer these guys. I don't want to transfer these. These are really good at just sitting there and just killing something from a long range. But yeah, I mean, I will find maybe run a 10-man squad with him or 2 5s in there. It's really up to you guys. Eventually, we will see what's winning, what's not winning in the tournaments. But definitely, I would love to check it out. I would love to build. I'm gonna build a list, right? And I'm gonna test it out. I'm gonna play online, show you guys some games, test some lists out, see what's working, what's not working. And yeah, we'll have fun with this guy. So this was kind of like the little first episode for the Aspect hosts, right? And we're gonna try to keep it up. Show you guys some builds, some games, see what's working, so you guys can see what to take to your locals, right? What are you fighting against? What are you trying to beat? So yeah, I think it's a good idea to, get together and all the experienced elder players and just kind of like talk about it. Like what's your opinion? What you would take, or if you're actually running the list yourself, just send a message. Hey, you know what? This is not working. I don't think we should run this, and then we go from there, right? And but yeah, brainstorming is always good. So I will definitely see you guys next time. I hope I didn't take too long on explaining some of these stuff. I do want to make a build. I'm gonna probably this weekend I will make a build. I will play it and I will stream it so you guys can see how it looks like and how it's performing using all the detachments and everything. So, but yeah, I'll catch you guys later and I'll see you next time.